Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Shall I start?
Yes, sir.
We have derived the buckling load for fixed three end. And the last condition, hinged fixed end will derive the buckling load. The buckling load for hinged and fixed end conditions. Okay. Fixed, hinged or pinned end column with fixed and hinged end. So one of the end is fixed, the other end is pinned like this. Pin joint in the sense it can rotate about that point, it can rotate like this, it can rotate. For example, your door, you can imagine your door, it cannot move in x direction, it cannot move in y direction, but it can rotate. That you should imagine pin joint. Whereas fixed, for example, fixed your window in the sense a window frame or your any structure which is fixed, which cannot move anywhere. X, Y, Z translation, rotation about X, rotation about Y, rotation about Z, all are fixed. Whereas when I say two, this to hinged, it can rotate about your Z axis. This is Z axis. It can rotate about Z axis. Yes, I'm similar to your door. Okay, I'm applying a load P, and since it will the column will buckle like this. I'll take a section which is at a distance x from the fixed end, and this distance, this distance is LE. This is XX. Now, since this is a fixed end, when I say hinged end, when I say hinged end like this, and hinged end like this, however, the column buckles like this. If I take the moment about this point B, assume that when there is a hinged end, there is a vertical force F of x, there is a vertical buckling load P. In order for that to for equivalent, there is load R reaction Ry, and assume that there is also one more, since there is pinned end, there is one more reaction force. There is two reaction forces. When I say hinged end, there are two reaction forces. One is the reaction in x direction, and the reaction is y direction. Okay. Now see, when I say this hinged end, there is a reaction force coming into picture like this. This I will indicate it as, this I will call it as, let me call this force as F. F. See why I'm not considering this force F when I'm taking a pinned or injured hinge end is, even if I take the moment about this force, the moment about MB of all this force, this there is no moment from this force, right? There is no moment from this force, there is no moment from this force. If I take a moment about from this force, F of x into LE is equal to 0. Summation moment should be equal to 0. Since length is not equal to 0, your f of x is equal to 0. As same as there is no reaction force in case of incident. But due to the fixed end, there will be reaction force at the incident in order to overcome that force F I am indicated here. Hope you can understand this. You may have a doubt why sir you are not taken the reaction force when you're talking about hinged end. Even if I take hinged end, when I take the moment about point P or any point, the reaction force, so that force F cancels out, then it get nullifies. It is as good as saying that there is no force F acting on the column. Okay. Now, but in case of this fixed and pinned end, due to this fixed end, there will be a moment MB. In order to compensate for that moment, there will be a reaction force acting horizontally like this. Hope you can understand this. If you understood this, I will go ahead. Okay. Give me a moment. Taking moment about XX, which is at a, which is moment, which is at a distance x from the fixed end. Okay. Now moment before that, moment is related to my deflection in the form m is equal to d square by dx square. When we deal with deflection, we will do this where EI is called flexural rigidity, that is resistance to bending flexural rigidity. AE is called as axial rigidity, that is resistance to axial loading. GJ is called as torsional rigidity. It is called as resistance to torsion. Okay, keeping this in mind, go ahead. Now I am taking the moment about this point here. If I take the moment, M is equal to this force into perpendicular distance. If I write this is the force, let me call this as force, and this will be what distance? Force into perpendicular. I will call this deflection as y. Okay. Now this force into this deflection is nothing but, you can, if you observe the sign convention, this is negative bending, minus p into y plus this force F into this distance. This distance, entire distance is LE, or I can write this as, let me indicate it by capital L before that. Okay, capital L. This distance is L, complete entire length is L, L minus X. Plus F into L minus X is this distance, plus F into L minus X, or EI into d square y by dx square plus py is equal to f of L minus x, or d square y by dx square plus p by ei into y, which is equal to f of L minus x by ei. Okay, or I'll write d square y by dx square plus n square y is equal to some constant, or you can say some k, where n square is equal to p by ei, n is equal to root p by ei. This is of the form. The solution the solution of one is of the form y is equal to a cos nx plus b sin nx plus c t square y by dx square plus P by EI into Y, which is equal to f of L minus X by EI. Okay. Now this is of the form y is equal to okay, y is equal to a cos root p by ei into x plus b sin root p by ei into x plus c. We need to find c. For that, what I will do, let us assume y is equal to c, then dy by dx dash is equal to 0, then d square y by dx square is equal to 0, then this will be of the form p by ei into y, which is equal to p by ei into y, which is equal to f of L minus x by ei. This will cancel, or y, which is equal to f of L minus x by p. Y is equal to c. Therefore 2 becomes y is equal to a cos root p by ei into x plus b sin root p by ei into x plus f of L minus x by p. To find the constants a and b, we use boundary conditions. At x is equal to 0, deflection y is equal to 0, fixed end deflection is 0. So 0 is equal to a cos root pi a plus f of L minus x by p, or sorry, f of 0, this will be 0, f of L minus x, 0 is equal to f of L, or a is equal to minus f of L by p. Next boundary condition I'll make use of. At x is equal to 0, dy by dx is equal to 0, or I will write this of the form y is equal to a cos lambda x plus b sin lambda x plus f of L minus x by p. Lambda is equal to, where lambda is equal to root p by e for simplicity. Okay. Y is equal to a cos lambda x plus b sin lambda x plus f of L minus x by p. At x is equal to 0, let me differentiate dy by dx, which is equal to minus a lambda sin lambda x plus b lambda cos lambda x plus, what can I do, f of L minus x. Can I write this of the form f of L by p minus f of L by p minus f of x by p, which is equal to minus f by p. At x is equal to 0, dy by dx is equal to 0. Same I am using, dy by dx is equal to 0, or 0. This will be 0 plus b minus f by p, or b is equal to f by p. Okay. Have I missed anything? Sorry. Okay. B lambda is equal to f by p, or b is equal to f by p by lambda is equal to f by p, where lambda is equal to root p by ei, 1 by lambda, which is equal to root p by a, shall I root ei, root p by root ei, or which is equal to f into root ei, f into root ei by p root p, p root p, let it p root p. Okay, or you can also write this other form, f by p into root ei by p. Okay, this is your p value. And now for third boundary condition, I will go to the top this boundary condition. I'll use this at x is equal to L, y is equal to 0. Therefore, this turns out to be y is equal to minus fl by p minus fl by p minus fl by p cos lambda x plus b is equal to f by p root ei by p sin lambda x plus fl minus x by p. At x is equal to L, y is equal to 0. Therefore, 0 which is equal to minus, give me a moment, minus cos lambda x, right? Okay, minus fl by p cos root p by ei into L, cos root p by ei into L. Okay, plus f by p root ei by p sin root pi. Did anything mistake? Okay, let me do continue. Plus sin p root ei, or better, I will write like this. It's a little confusing for you. It is a little lengthy also. 0 which is equal to minus fl by p cos lambda l plus f by p root ei by p sin lambda l. L if you substitute, this will become 0 plus 0, or fl by p which is equal to fl by p cos lambda l which is equal to f by p root ei by p sin lambda l. fp cancels. Okay, L into cos lambda l which is equal to root ei by p sin lambda l, or root p by ei into L is equal to tan lambda l. Okay, or let me go back. Tan lambda l which is equal to root p by ei into L, or tan lambda is equal to p by ei tan p by ei into L which is equal to root p by ei into L. How is this, in which form this is? Tan theta which is approximately or equal, tan theta is equal to theta. Tan this thing is theta is equal to theta. When will be tan theta is equal to theta? For small values, for 0, 4.4935 and other values. I will take the least significant value. I will take tan, you check it out in the calculator, tan root p by ei into L which is equal to, shall I say, take tan, this will be same for root pi by L is equal to this thing, but tan 4.4935. Okay, are you able to understand? Tan of theta is approximately equal to theta for this value. Therefore, I have taken this tan 4.4935. Okay. Then if I take this as root P by EA into L, which is equal to tan inverse tan of 4.4935 or root P by EA into L is equal to 4.4935. We check it out, or I can write this in the form P by EI into L square, which is equal to 4.4935 square, which is equal to 2 pi square, or P is equal to 2 pi square EI by L square. This is the load for a column with one end fixed and the other end hinged. Okay, this is how we are going to derive it. Next, hope you understood this, right? Any doubts here? Any doubts? Dhruti, Madeva, Mekala, Raghavendra, Rakesh, Sandeep Sali, Sugun, Sushil Kumar, Akshay Pratap. Any doubts here? You have understood this? You have understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I will go ahead. There is something called as effective length. Effective length. Let me give the definition. The length of the column between two inflection points or points of zero bending moment is called as point of inflection. Let me explain this. If I take pinner end, it means to say that the length of the column between two inflection points, that is points of zero bending moment. So if I consider this point A and point B, point A and point B, point A and point B are the points of zero bending moment. This is the point of zero bending moment. This is the point of zero bending moment. Hope you can understand this. So, if I consider the length of the column between two inflection points or points of zero bending moment is called as point of inflection. Okay. So when I consider pin end, these 2 points C and B are the point of inflection where the bending moment is zero. Where the bending moment is zero, anywhere there can be any bending moment, any magnitude, but at the hinged end, it is free to rotate. It is free to rotate in z direction like this. There is no reaction. There is no reaction. There is no reaction opposing this rotation. Like your door can rotate about some y-axis. Similarly, assume that this hinged end can rotate about z-axis. It is free to rotate. There is no reaction force. So these are the points of zero bending moment. There is no bending moment here. This is zero. It can freely rotate. Bending moment in the sense there is no resistance to rotation. It can freely rotate. So these 2 points are the point of zero bending moment or point of inflection. It is also called as point of inflection. Now, uh, in order to find the effective length, so we have derived. Give me a moment. You can hear, right? Are you able to hear? You can hear, right? Hello? Okay.
Yes,
Okay. Now, if I consider, fixed end, this is the column. It will bend something like this. I'm writing exaggerated and I'm writing this. It cannot be like this. Something like this. Okay. Something like that. Cannot. This is very difficult to write at a time. Okay. Time being you adjust this. This is fixed and fixed column. I want to exaggerate and show you that slope and deflections are zero. It is vertical here. Okay. Now. Okay. Next. This will. This is the column. This is the column. This is okay. Now, this is injured hand, injured hand, injured hand. This is fixed, fixed, and this is one end fixed, one end hinged. Here, fixed, free end. Now, when I say effective length, it is the it is the point between two, it is the distance between two inflection point. The length of the column between the two inflection points or points of zero bending moment is called a point of inflection, or length of the column between two inflection point. When I say like this, this is the point where bending moment is zero. This is the point where bending moment is zero. I will continue another half an hour. I will send you one more link. Only 10 minutes remaining. This length is this from this point to this point is similar to your hinged end. This point to this point is similar to your hinged end. Okay, I will continue later. There's a lot of disturbance here. I'll send you one more link. One more class is going on. Let me, there's a lot of disturbance. I will continue in 10 minutes. Okay, I'll send you the link.